Hello, my name's Aaron. I'm the Crochet Carpenter, and today is the first of my Learn to Crochet tutorial series. I'm going to try and cover as many topics and as many little tips and tricks and answer questions that I know that I had when I was first starting. I have a list here that I'm going to be referring to, so if I look off to the side, it's because I'm reading the screen on my computer so that I know what I want to talk about, because I made a whole plan. So far I have 3 videos laid out. This first one is just going to kind of talk about how to hold the hook, how to hold your yarn, explain the difference between the different grips. I do want to clarify, I'm a right-handed crocheter, so these tips and tricks are going to be focused more on a right-handed person. If you're left-handed, I think that it's pretty much just the opposite, but I'm not 100% clear on that, so I don't want to say anything and then have people go with that. I focus on amigurumi, which is the art of making stuffed animals out of yarn with crochet. Different sizes. These are the same pattern, just different yarns. It's my current one that I'm working on. So let's get started. I'm going to flip the camera around so that it's a little bit of a different view so that you can actually see what's going on, and we will get started on how to hold the hook, because this is the first step, really. Alright, so first up, let's go over our main tool, which is going to be our crochet hook. This is a 6mm clover hook. This is just my preferred hook, but depending on what yarn you're using or even your personal tension, you're going to use a different size hook. This is something that every yarn label will tell you what size hook to use, but that's based off of what size swatch and somebody else's tension, and it may not always be exactly what you need. So there is some trial and error in this. I'm sorry that I can't just give you the answer. It took me a long time to figure out what hook to use, but these are my preferred, or the ones that I use a lot. And I also just wanted to point out that there are different kinds of hooks as well. So these ones are the more ergonomic, and they have like a soft cushion so that when you're crocheting, it's soft. Then there's straight crochet hooks, where it's just exposed metal, and sometimes this can cause a bit of a callus down here, and it's a little irritating, so I don't really use these, but these are the more common ones that you see for beginners. And then we have the tapered hooks, which these are furls hooks. They have a bit of a longer neck from where you're holding, so depending on your style, you might prefer these. I find that the neck is a little bit too long for me, but I have friends that love these and swear by them. And then there's different sizes. So as I said, this is a 6mm. Hooks usually start in, you can go all the way down to like a 0.25, but the majority of them are they all work in increments of millimeters, and typically you'll get a set that goes up by 0.5mm per hook. So I have a 3.5mm here, and then a 4. I don't have them all out. Then there's 6, and then when you get larger, it's usually just by 1mm. So this is an 8, 9, 10. This is a 15. This is a 19, and this is a 24. Depending on what yarn you're using, is going to be how you decide which size hook, as I said before. Today I am going to be using my 6mm because it's my preferred with this yarn. And the yarn that I'm going to be using today is Demi Pearl, which is a Loops and Threads brand. It's nice and plush, and I feel like you can see the stitches better than some other yarns. So it's going to be my preferred for the method today. So when you're holding the hook, there are 2 different grip types that are common. One is the pencil hook, the pencil grip, where you actually hold the hook as if you're holding a pencil, like this. So that would look like this. Or the other is a knife grip. I didn't want to use an actual knife and get flagged. So here's a comb that is kind of like a knife. And you hold it in your palm, and then you would use your hands like this. So instead of like this, you're holding it like this. And I'll show you that with the actual hook. I just wanted to have the props because I felt like it would make it a little bit clearer. So this is a knife grip, and this is a pencil grip. There is no real difference to either of them. Some people do say that pencil grip is better for your wrist. Personally, I just have always, like I was taught and I learned with the knife grip, so this is my go-to. But you obviously should pick whatever is most comfortable and what feels natural to you. The next is going to be, if you have your hook in your right hand, you want your yarn to be in your left hand. So I should already have something started here so that I can show you. But essentially, I'm just going to start something quick and we will go back to this after, but I just wanted to do it to show you how I hold the yarn. Okay, so I looped mine through a finger and then over so that these are pinching the yarn to keep it tight. It can move, but it's not just loosey-goosey. You need to have some sort of control. When I first started, I used to go like this and weave it through them all. Same with the hook. This is something that everyone's got different styles of holding it, and it's something that you just kind of have to figure out what you feel most comfortable with. But I like this method. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the difference between working in the flat and working in the round. What I mean by that is, if you're working in the flat, you're creating a flat piece that would be used to make blankets, scarves, like trivets, doilies, tablecloths, anything that is just a one surface, two surface, and it's flat, not three-dimensional. So this is working in the flat, commonly referred to as. And then working in the round is quite literally working in the round. So you end up working in a spiral continuously, and depending on the number of increases, we're going to talk about increases in a little bit, don't worry. That might be next video though. Depending on the number of increases, which means the number of stitches that you put, you can have a piece that is flat and that ends up becoming more round, or if you put less increases, you end up with something that is more cone-like. And this helps when you're working with different shapes in amigurumi. So as you can see here, the legs, for example, have less increases so that they're more tubular. And there's some increases on the nose, which make it angle upwards. It's very helpful when you're coming up with shaping and creating something that is different than just flat. When you're working in the flat, you're working in rows that go back and forth. So you get to one side, then you turn and you go back here, then you turn and you go back here, then you turn and you go back here. I'm going to do a video on working in the flat, which will be the next video, and one working in the round, which will be the video after that. As you become more familiar with this hobby, you'll learn that there is a list of crochet abbreviations, as seen here on the screen. This is kind of like our language when it comes to crochet, and it helps it so that a crochet pattern isn't just full of a whole bunch of full words. It's got these little abbreviations that help make the page less jumbled, easier to read, and more universally understood. We're going to go over how to read these in a pattern in the next videos, but I just kind of wanted to explain. These are the most common ones that we use and we see, at least when it comes to amigurumi, without getting too complicated. That's what I mean. Anyways, hopefully this clears up some of your questions, and we're going to get started in the next video working in the flat. Then the video after that will be working in the round, and then I'm not sure what the video after that will be, but stay tuned because there's going to be more.